Hey, man, the fuck you mean you ain't heard no fucking?
I got shoes, I'm a two-step backwards. Yeah, baby, never say any bad words. Got 1, 2, 3 in my passwords. I ain't broke, boy, yeah, you got it backwards. How you get rich? I don't even know. Got a couple bags, I'ma watch them unfold. How you get rich? I don't even know. Got a couple bags, I'ma watch them unfold. It's like 2 cups, not a liter.
In early 2000, Alex Jones was one of 7 Republican candidates for state representative in Texas, District 48, an open swing district based in Austin, Texas. Jones said he was running to be a watchdog on the inside. This race would be rather short-lived, as Alex Jones would drop out on the second week of his run. But he had more important things to do, as the church in Mount Carmel had come to completion. Alex would be interviewed about this by Jeff Davis on the Jeff Davis Real News Hour, where he would also mention the part 2 of his Police State 2000 series.
You're not a spy, are you?
Oh, yes, sir. For whose side, we don't know.
How much you want me to pay you now?
Oh,
This is Jimmy Ritter. He's good.
I know.
all right, folks, we are here in front of the chapel, and my good friend, actually my brother, Alex Jones.
How you
is
doing,
here.
Jeff?
Alex, what'd you have to say about it? I know that you've been the main driver of the funding and all that kind of thing. How does this feel at this point in time where it looks like this is going to come into completion?
Well, it's historical, Jeff, because let's face it, Judge Walter Smith is a phony, pre-selected by Bill Clinton to whitewash the wrongful death suit, as he did in the criminal trial back in 93 and 94, where the Davidians were found not guilty, but this being the New World Order America, he went ahead and just threw them all in jail because he felt like it. And now he's not allowing them to have a jury in their wrongful death suit. That's also one of the new, loving American things we do. We just don't allow juries, when the judges feel like it in the federal courts. So I said, look, 6 months ago, I said, let's step up to the plate. Let's build a new church, a memorial church for those that died out here. And the 19th, we'll have all the sheetrock in and the air conditioners, and we'll probably be working on the bathrooms by then. But basically, the building will be done, except for a few particulars, because now in the free America we live in, even out in the middle of nowhere, 9.5 miles east of Waco, you're not allowed to have a septic tank. So you've got to go through some special bootlicking to be able to get bathrooms put in, and that's holding us up on that. But as soon as we've licked enough boots, a long line of them, and here on the feudal plantation, we'll try to get the church done. But it feels really good, and it's historical, and I want to thank all the volunteers and all the great Americans that have come out here.
What about the April 19th? How many did you have? Can you guess how many people will be out here?
I would guess anywhere between 500 and 1,000 or even more. Everybody's invited out, and I just hope to see everybody out here to basically focus in on the fact that Judge Walter Smith is a federal tool. He's nothing but a Byzantine court gesture, really. And the whole court system's become a fraud in this country, and America's better get a handle on it. But there'll be a lot of people out here.
All righty. Did you have anything else you'd like? And I appreciate you coming on the show, Alex.
Oh, you bet, Jeff. No, just that people want more information. They can go to the website, rebuildthechurch.com or Infowars.com. And Infowars.com is short for Information War. And Admiral Moore, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, just a few weeks ago called for information war and said that if every American who's on the ball and knows what's happening doesn't take action now to warn others, we're going to completely lose this country, Jeff. They're building prisons everywhere. They're merging the military and the police. Out in Austin, the old Robert Mueller Airport, they've taken one of the hangars and put bolts in the floor and chains and barbed wire inside and cots, and it's getting weird. It's getting real strange, and they signed a whole bunch of executive orders and presidential decision directives last year. Senate Bill 10,059 was passed October 7th, and that authorizes the military on America's streets for the mere threat of terrorism. And we're going to have all the details on this, as well as the Temple bus search by the military and the military serving search warrants now in 77 Texas counties in the new film, Police State 2, The Takeover. So that's going to be it's going to have a lot of hardcore information in it. Part 2 of Police State 2000.
All right, folks. Once again, that's Alex Jones. Alex, God bless you, sir.
You bet, Jeff.
I appreciate it. I love you. Thank you, Jimmy.
In midsummer, Alex Jones and Mike Hansen would be interviewed for a History Channel special on the black helicopters that they've been seeing in their town and the conspiracies that surround them.
Carried out covert government missions for years. Now the people of one Texas town are out to expose what they call a conspiracy.
There was a black helicopter spraying some white powder. It's bizarre. It's like an invasion.
What's behind this helicopter hell?
A lot of people in the Lone Star State coming up with a lot of conspiracy theories. Steve Langford reports on the helicopters and health problems that have hit Austin.
It's the sound.
It sounds just like a tornado.
They were so loud that they shook the windows.
That's how they know they're back.
It was huge. You could see the machine gun mounts on them and everything, and they were black.
The black helicopters.
9 children all came down sick at the same time.
The whole side of my car was just covered with dead gnats.
Austin, Texas is a peaceful, laid-back kind of place, just like its favorite son, Willie Nelson. At least it used to be. Until the black helicopters arrived.
It's bizarre. It's like an invasion.
Suddenly, people all over Austin started seeing them, with some saying they'd been harassed and maybe even poisoned by the things.
I can confirm black helicopters are swarming all over Texas and the rest of the U.S., harassing citizens, police, anybody that gets in their way. Black helicopters, the strike force, the New World Order.
Alex Jones is a popular radio talk show host with Austin's KJFK, and he's been investigating and reporting on the mysterious black helicopter phenomenon for years.
It reads like a science fiction novel, but it's really happening.
Until recently, the government, the military, and law enforcement had denied the very existence of black helicopters. But now, authorities concede there really are such things.
On May 14th, 2000, Alex Jones would counter-protest the Million Mom March, which was a protest for gun control after a few school shootings have taken place.
Well, America, it's Austin, Texas. It's the Million Mom gun grab, the gun power monopoly. Yeah, they're not against guns being in society, just in the hands of the good, decent American people. Just like Hitler, Stalin, Mao, you name it. All throughout history, they're hell-bent on disarming the people. So we're going down here to confront the Million Mom gun grab that the government and George Soros International Banker has been funding and pushing. This is all staged, managed, and you've got a lot of useful idiots, a lot of useful dupes being sucked into it in the name of the children. So let's see what happens. By the way, you better start fighting, America, for your rights. They're also attacking the First Amendment right now. That hurts the children too, they say. Well, there you have it, the Million Mom gun grab. All that George Soros International Banker and Bill Clinton and the socialists can buy. See, in all dictatorships throughout history, back to the Roman Empire, slaves were disarmed. On plantations, you think black people could have a gun or a knife? No. Most of these people are useful dupes. They're unaware of what's really happening. They don't have a gauge on history. My friends, it's just this simple. When a government seeks to disarm the public, prepare for mass slavery. Prepare for total control. Prepare for death camps. Hitler, Stalin, Mao, they always disarm the people. It happens over and over again. Hey, how you doing?
I'll pray for you.
You'll pray for me? Well, I'll pray for you guys with the concentration camps they're building, okay?
Well, that's good. We'll pray for each other.
Great, and they're merging the military and the police. I'll pray for you.
And what is your last name?
It's Alex Jones.
Jones.
They're merging the military and the police. I'll pray for you.
I'll pray for you.
And they're building concentration camps. So I'll pray for you that you're able to resist it, okay?
We'll pray for each other.
Okay, thank you. Believe me, I need the prayers. Thank you. What's up, bud? What's the matter?
Officer.
Here's the deal. You don't need to go over on that side of the street around this parking lot. These folks have got this lot today.
No problem.
Okay.
Great, and once we're disarmed, it'll be a lot more fun, believe me. Hey, sir, how's the training with the military going? Pretty good?
I have no idea.
Good.
Can we go over and just talk with Channel 8 for a minute?
Yeah, or is it
What now?
Can we go talk with Channel 8 for just a minute?
Yeah, you can go talk to the media.
We won't.
They have this
Well,
lot.
we've got
Yes,
these
sir.
folks running over to us. Don't worry. Once we're disarmed, they'll do a lot more for you. Don't worry. Very good. We'll be like Germany soon. Don't worry. Thank you, sir.
We got to cross the street over there. We'll be right there.
In late September, John Joe Gray would assault 2 police officers and then flee to his private property, where he intended to defend his property. Him and his family armed themselves and recruited others to help them. Alex Jones would be a vocal proponent of John Joe Gray, claiming that the police officers were harassing him and unlawfully arrested him. Alex Jones would appear in an interview on ABC at John Joe Gray's compound.
And they're not the only ones supporting the Grays.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Finally, yes.
You bet.
On our visit to the compound, we met Alex Jones, a radio talk show host from Austin.
I just don't want to see a bloodbath here because they're committed. They're going to defend their property. This family's been harassed, and he has a right to live his life as a free human being and defend his property and his family.
And then there's Michael Trice, a preacher from Louisiana who traveled hundreds of miles to help defend the Grays from what he calls another Waco.
When things get so bad that a minister has to strap on a weapon to come out and protect good Christian family from tyranny within the government, it's getting pretty bad.
But how bad is it, really? The sheriff says rumors of an assault are ridiculous, that the Grays are blowing things out of proportion.
A farce, just a farce.
A farce?
There's never been a siege going on at the Gray property.
Please come over here and get all the date numbers and things and the VIN numbers on this piece of Big Brother.
But what about this? A surveillance camera mounted on a trailer belonging to the sheriff's department.
Well, this is a war, though, you understand? So
It was found near the Grays property just a few weeks ago.
What's that right there? Covert operations.
You gotta be kidding.
The Grays say the sheriff was spying on them in preparation for an assault.
Transmitter and battery.
They are gonna move in here.
We got it all out.
What was this trailer doing there with the surveillance equipment?
We were just checking movements and stuff like that, and seeing what was going on.
And what happened to that equipment?
It's my understanding they destroyed it.
Yeah, I think cows got into it, you know.
Despite the bit of spying, the sheriff says the Grays' fears are just paranoia.
Plans to assault Joe Gray's compound. I still say time is our best ally.
But for Keith Tarkington, whose young sons remain inside the compound, time is the enemy.
I never stopped thinking of them, praying for them. I mean, the crying is over. Now I just want results. I want my children back.
With every passing day, he says, it gets more and more frustrating to have the law on your side and no one willing to enforce it.
I sit hours and hours right up here on this hill waiting and watching.
Out here on the ranch lands of East Texas, for now at least, the Grays are winning their little war against government and the law.
If they try to take the kids by force?
We'll protect those children as our own.
To the death?
To the death if need be. Yes, sir.
You're willing to die for this?
I'd really die for it. Because how else could you live? You know, freedom. What is freedom? You know, they can take my land, you know, okay. They can take my life, but they can't take my freedom.
Mike Hansen and Alex Jones would also take their own account of the situation.
To say, well, those people aren't like me. Well, isn't that what Hitler said about the Jews? Those people aren't like me. Let's deal with them. Let's take them out. Let's mess with them. Oh, let's make them carry IDs. Let's make them jump through our hoops. Then people will say, well, we have to jump through those hoops. Well, I ask you, how free are you in America today? That's really the question I'm asking people. But I'm not concerned about the majority of people. A lot of folks will say, leave these poor people alone, live and let live. A lot of people will say, get them, they're kooks, because they like to feel good and better about themselves by putting others down. I just say I saw a bunch of children killed at Waco. And I knew they could have picked Koresh up any day in town. And I saw federal agents die. And we watched all this unfold, the military come in tanks and helicopters, and they burn it to the ground. And we've got DPS officers that have come forward, David Keyes, that never got into the civil trial. We've got CIA people, we've got Dr. Frederick Whitehurst, former head of the FBI crime lab, coming forward on Waco, saying they manufactured evidence on the Davidians and covered up other evidence. That's all there for your cameras to go check out. Waco was horrible. This is so close to Waco. How can I live in Austin and swear no more Wacos on the radio and then not drive up here? I found out about 5:30 today that this was happening. Went home, put the toothpaste and deodorant in my bag and drove up here. And out here in the Texas heat to try to ensure that these people are not going to be butchered, because it could happen to me next. Who was the minister from Germany who said, first they came for the Jews and I did nothing because I wasn't a Jew, then they came for the gypsies, I did nothing because I wasn't a gypsy, then they came for the Catholics, then they came for the homosexuals, then they came for blah, blah, blah. And finally, when the Nazis came for me, there was nobody left. Nobody left to stand up for me. What's their crime? Can you turn your Jeep lights back on?
No, it's okay.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
good.
go. Alex, Tom.
Well, what in the New World Order is this? This is a loving... Mike, please come over here and get all the date numbers and things and the VIN numbers on this piece of Big Brother. This is date received. Probably means when they got the federal grant at the DPS. Probably got one of these across the street from my house. They've moved in. 9/7/99. And I guess this is a remote camera, it looks like.
You got to be kidding.
No, look right there.
Yeah, we got the rest of it down there.
Oh, you've got the rest of it, a transmitter and battery?
They are going to move in here.
We got it all out there.
Oh, you should have shown this to the media.
That's what we asked, and someone said it'd be best not to.
Here you've got a digital wireless camera, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what they do to families that just don't want to have driver's license, that don't want to be thumb scanned. This is what they do to you. This is how they handle it. They're not worried about giving all the missile secrets to China. Oh, no. They can sell all the organs they want left and right. Kill people as much as they want. But this...
Is it night vision?
This is property of CORE. That's very important, Mike. Around earlier, Mike. I need that VIN number, Mike.
I got it, Alex.
It's number C2120. Number C2120.
There was a secretive organization known as the Bohemian Club. Alex Jones and Mike Hansen were always very suspicious of this organization. Mike Hansen had the brilliant idea of infiltrating their most secretive of meetings, the cremation of care, which they believed to have human sacrifice, blood worship, and dark magic. They would infiltrate this meeting.
Fucking sore throat, gang. Don't get sick. Yeah. Hey. So my name's Baby No Money, and I got lots of...
Baby
Yo, babe, how you get that money? Yeah, you numbers going crazy. Hurricane's wrist, got some diamonds going crazy. About to bounce back, stuck a rack, I ain't lazy. Might just pull your mommy, cause I heard she want my gravy. Where them bad girls at? 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 I need a nice bitch, acting like a misfit. She's really about the distance. Have you seen my thrift fits? Your wrist game need assistance. What you want for Christmas? Deliver you some litmus. Mumbling prolific, but I'm studying.
If you're cool, you'll subscribe and check out the links in the description. If you're not, you're not even worth saving. You're worthless to me. You're a fool, an absolute ghoul, a cretin. So if those listed things you don't want to be, you know what to do. Bitch.